Speaking of Cleveland baseball, here in the flesh, baby, is Terry Francona himself. Terry, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's nice to see both you guys.
Give me some. Josh Bell, again, is part of your ball club now. Give me some thoughts on Josh.
Well, okay, hypothetically, we're looking for guys like him.
That's to say it's not a final deal yet.
Got it.
But hypothetically, he's a pretty interesting player. Guys like him, we're looking to find a way to get our lineup a little bit deeper. And, we're going to need to get a catcher also. Hedgie's a free agent, so we're not done yet, but we're trying.
Yeah, your style of play last year from the get-go was just very attractive. Tell me about that. Was there concerted meetings on that? Was that just because suddenly Stephen Kwan's in the lineup? How did that work out?
From day one in spring training, Chris and Cherney sat me down and explained how young we were going to be, and that really helped me because then I was able to tell the coaches, hey, this is where we are, so let's not be bitter about not going after. Let's see how good we can get. And we talked to the players from day one, like, this is how we're going to have to play because, we want to survive. We want to win. Well, I'll tell you what, man, they did a great job because it's not always that easy for guys that are trying to find their footing in the league to always play the game the way you want them to, and they did a really good job.
Tito, do you think this is about that? In other words, at this time last year, we didn't know you'd be good. It felt a little bit like you'd be going through a rebuilding. Did you get sped up to the point where, in theory, you could sign someone who's a middle-of-the-order hitter for a little more than we usually think of Cleveland spending on a player?
I definitely
You sped up your clock, essentially.
Our players sped up the clock, yes. We needed to answer a lot of questions this year, and we played a lot of young guys because of the way they handled themselves. And then the guys like, our pitching staff, I definitely agree with that.
Can I just ask, because it is young players, and you've certainly been around the block a bunch with all kinds of players, I'm sure you think these guys are enduring, the Kwans, etc. Why? What did you see this year that Andres Jimenez is a building piece around, Kwan is a building piece, etc.?
Well, obviously you got to have some talent.
Right.
But on top of that, when you tell them something once, it's done. And, we tried to explain to them, hey, we don't want to beat you guys over the head, but we also want to win. And they allowed us to coach. And I thought our coaches did a really good job of not being frustrated because we probably did more teaching at the major league level than we've ever done. But our players, they kept playing through frustration. We'd be down 2 in the ninth. I'd look down the dugout, and they kind of looked like they felt like they were going to win. And we probably end up winning more games than we probably should have.
Yeah, now down the stretch, you had that last series with the White Sox. I was watching that closely because that was a big showdown series, and it was close, that first game you were playing. Eventually, though, in the late innings, and then I think you went extra innings, you basically ran them out of the park. Like, what was the level of satisfaction in, wow, this is exactly how we laid it out?
Brian, there was actually the series before that, we were in Chicago. We lost the second game with doubleheader, and we ran out of pitching. We went extra innings and ran out of pitching. And I told the guys after the game, I'm so proud of you guys, the way you played, that if we play like that, we're going to be just fine. And that's what they did. You can't just pick your moments where you want to hustle. To do it right, you got to do it all the time.
Yeah, you feeling good? Like, how much longer? You 22 years doing this and success? How are you doing?
My health is, I think, trending in the right direction, which means I'm upright, which is good. There's probably the last couple years were tough for me. And if I wouldn't have been in Cleveland, I probably would have gone home. I love the people I work with so much that it got me through some tougher times. As long as I feel like I can do it appropriately and I enjoy it, I'll do it. But it is getting to that point where you start to think about it from time to time. I admit that.
I wonder if you're thinking about the other big picture thing, and, no false praise here. You're going to be somebody who almost certainly is going to end up in Cooperstown for your accumulation of success, championships, helping this team turn around a couple of different times. How much does that weigh on you? Like, do you think about, like, I'm going to end up in the big place?
No. What I care about is I stay in the moment. That's one thing. We preach it. That's because I believe that. I love staying in the moment. I love the journey because you don't always know how it's going to end up. And it's there's only one team that is standing at the end. But like this year, I loved the journey with this group. It was fun because we didn't know a lot of stuff, but we went through it together. And we got better together, and we're going to continue to do that.
It was a good watch, really was, to watch you guys develop through the year.
It was a fun team.
Yeah, best of luck this coming season.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys
Terry
both.